out here. Welcome, channel. We're back. And I'm just getting straight to the disclaimers. The discussion is advised. Virtual advisor is advised. Please have an open mind that you be able to receive this sage advice and paramount morals of the story. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107. Violence is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news report, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright status that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit education, personally used tips to power to favor of fair use.
The next generation of Jedi.
We seek a dangerous fugitive. This is no common anarchist, but a devotee of the treasonous Jedi Order.
The view, or are they not? None of your videos can answer the question, or maybe I didn't. If I did, please give me a reference. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to go over this question. And if anyone else has questions, make sure to leave them down below. Be specific with your questions. And so are the people who were named black by the European colonizers Jews, right? And so this is a loaded question, and it has to be answered from at least a angle to make my answer as clear as possible. Now, if you're referring to the average person that's walking around America and calling themselves a black person, then I would most certainly say that those people are not anywhere close to being Jews. You may ask, why is that? And that's because they have already told you what they are. They are black people, right? And they're not confused about themselves being black people, right? That's how they imagine themselves, and that's how they want to identify themselves, and that's how they want other people to identify them as black, right? So that's who they are. Right?
Stronger now because of
that, right? And so a problem that a lot of people have is that they have learned to think like the European colonizers, right? And they want to go out and force people to identify as something that those people don't want to identify as, right? People with brown skin who were named black, those people have been conquered, and because in their mind they're still conquered, they're still only capable of seeing themselves as black, right? They do not want to be called Jews or Israelites or Hebrew Israelites, right? So we're just going to respect their right to be called black people, and that's what it is, right? So again, the answer to that question is no in this instance. Now, would I consider the people Jews or Israelites that have taken on a Jew or an Israelite cultural, ethnic, or religious identity? My answer to that is yes, I would consider them that. But understand that the answer is also yes to those of the Chinese, the Indian, the Nigerian, Ethiopian, Russian, those of German ancestry and so forth, who have also taken on that as an identity, right? Be yes to them as well. And that's because Jew is considered being a cultural, ethnic, or a religious identity that anyone could become part of, right? Whoever decides to take it on. And that's why there's a whole bunch of different people from different parts of the world who identify themselves as such, right? So in this instance, like I said, my answer would be yes. But on a side note, I will say that in the Israelite movement, they have continued to make a huge mistake, right? And that mistake is conflating the word black and Israelite, right? They've been mixing these two together. And a lot of the times in the Israelite community, they make black and Hebrew Israelite synonymous, right? And so they'll say things like Christ was a black man, or the Jews were black, right? And they mix those two words together. And by doing so, they never completely distance themselves from the black identity, right? So other people who talk about them or who make videos on them, they probably the black Hebrew Israelites. Right? It's a bunch of people that other people are trying to Israelite culture as being the black Hebrew Israelite, right? And when people attach black to the Israelite identity, they are making sure that the spell and all the derogatory ideas that come with attached to the name black is attached to that group, right? And so the psychology behind this is that when people hear of black Jews or black Hebrew Israelites, then from the very start, it paints an impression of a negative thing, right? In their mind, are they the descendants of the people who put the words together that made up the Bible, right? And so the answer to this question is one that a lot of people do not want to hear, right? They don't want to hear, they don't want to deal with, they don't want to accept, right? But it's the only way that you're going to get down to the bottom of this situation and answer this question with any reasonable accuracy. And that is to take an actual DNA test, right? Because anyone, they can make up whatever history that they want to. They can interpret the scriptures however they want to make them feel like they're the real Jews, right? Anyone could come up and say that God said and told them in a dream that they're the real Jews, right? And that they have all the blessings, right? People can come up with anything that they want to come up with. And if they believe it, then it'll be true for them in their world of imagination, right? But if you want to get down to the real nitty gritty, right? You want to get down to the bottom of this thing. And if you want the most accurate answer to this question, then you have to take a DNA test, right? There's no way around this. You have to, right? Because the DNA test, like I said, it cuts through all the foolishness. And so, for example, if there were a woman who came up to you with a child, and you know you were not sexually involved with that particular woman during that time when she got pregnant, and she came to you and said, hey, this child is yours and it belongs to you, right? And then she takes you to court, and on top of that, she has 20 other witnesses that are all vouching for her and saying that, yes, you were together with her during that time and this child is yours, right? And at this point, it would be your word versus her word and 20 other people. So in this instance, it would appear that you're lying and that the child actually belongs to you, right? Because it's 21 people versus you as the one person. But when the DNA test comes back and it says that your genetics do not match with that of the child's, then all of a sudden, the DNA test overrides the 21 people that said that the child was yours. It could have been a million people. It could have been the whole world. The DNA test is still going to be more valid. And that's because the DNA, like I said, it cuts through the foolishness.
Did you experience inappropriate behavior?
I'm an avatar. I'm an avatar, nigga. I gotta see the world. Gang. Like I'm over gotta see the world. I'm the chosen one. By that arrow, I'm bitch, I feel like Avatar. I'm surfing through the spirit realm. We don't really fight. Niggas water down. Feel the earth on my picture. Get me down low. Get on my heel. I feel the light. It's like a tiny dog. I'm the chosen one. Now I think the kid is growing. I'm the golden one. I'm the what they put things through them and it's going one. They underestimate my power, but I'm just not showing them. Even when I'm going up, I'm finishing my shot. I had this daughter, so I'm going up. I'm girl with my feet. I'm calling you because I feel like it's born. So you can't ignore her. I'm above the fight. I'm my other fight. I'm the second type of thing I like it. That is other fight. I always get sick. I'm baby like you are. 30 times. I'm training up the Jesus. I'm not going to tell my life about you. I'm a spiritual warrior. I'm the top. You don't know about that. I got ways to do that now. I'm quick to take the door. There's no reason to be strong. It's only teaching you to probably make the problem. You might be strong in the spiritual realm, but bitch, I'm stronger. I'm Darth Vader. You just got one, but bitch, I'm the boss. Fucking Katara, because I'm an avatar. I got too much battle scars. One in my track car. Water like a game car. I got money race car. She got some 84. I go bring the chainsaw. Yeah, she's a white kid. So she became a leader. Yeah, she got the rough with me. so I can fucking treat her. But all you can keep her, she return me, suck up all my semen. Now I shot my nigga, got a new goddess, I keep her clean. Bitch, I feel like Agatha, I'm surfing through the stair around. Hit her with the fire, smoking eggs, niggas water down. Cause they can cut her earth, I'm up in nature, getting download. Air on my head, I feel a light, I'm thinking about it going. You can't beat me, I'm the chosen one. Now I'm the beat, it's growing, I'm the golden. I'm the real up on that first, and it's oil one. And underestimate my power, but I'm not showing up.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Roswell UFO Conference, and as you know, we're open with the Roswell UFO Festival. The overcoat is off, the man in white stuff is off. This is the last of 4 days of lectures with Mr. James Bartlett coming up, and we're talking about pretty soon after our panel discussion, which will be in here at 3 o'clock beginning after this lecture. Give or take, we may have to redo the stage a little bit, but since I'm in this, on your way out of the convention center, this is our actual UFO festival show. And you would not believe, since last September, in 10 months, people that already had full-time jobs, putting in the first 5 or 10, then 10 or 20, 30 or more hours a week. So you can see them happen in Roswell. Any of those things that didn't happen, we still put a lot of work into making them happen. But anyway. But when you see anybody in a purple shirt, give them a big hug, put a $100 bill in their pocket, whatever. Thank them, because the mayor has done it in front of the press. The